as a writer on self-leadership, a lot of people go, well, self-leadership, isn't that selfish? And I go, quite the contrary. Because my understanding of psychology is this, that ego means sense of self. And so a healthy ego is a good thing. But when people say ego, when they use it in common language, common vernacular, what they're really referring to is egotistical behaviors or egomaniacal behaviors. Now, you've all sort of, had that experience. You've been outside a five-star hotel or an expensive restaurant and you've seen the guy in the Lamborghini or the Porsche or the Maserati drive up, right, rev the engine to make sure everybody's seen him. He gets out of the car, throws the keys to the valet, making sure everybody sees him, and he walks into the hotel, right? Does that guy have a big ego or a small ego? Now, most of you are going to say big ego, but I would disagree. And the reason I would disagree is I think the guy has a small ego because he is compensating, right? The Maserati, the Lamborghini, that is a compensation. Because ego is sense of self. If you know who you are, you can turn up to the hotel or the restaurant in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. In fact, you look at very wealthy people, right? I'm wearing my Steve Jobs Rolex. Steve Jobs didn't show his wealth. Zuckerberg doesn't show his wealth, right? Okay. If you are comfortable in yourself, you can turn up in jeans and a t-shirt because you know you've got the money in the bank account. The guy with the Lamborghini, it might be leased. So when you know who you are, you don't need to make other people look small because you're comfortable with who you are. You can give other people space because them taking up space doesn't decrease your space. So actually, a healthy, strong ego is what we are looking for because then we don't have to overcompensate. Now, I want you all to realize this when you're dealing with arrogant men and men that are taking up a lot of space, they are compensating. And they're dangerous because they need that space because they are inside very fragile. And as women, I think you already know that, but I just thought I'd tell you that. So a man that can be vulnerable is actually strong because he knows who he is, and vice versa for women because you know who you are. So what is the absence of self-leadership? Well, it's a weak ego, and that gives us reactivity, right? We react to things because we take it personally, randomness because we're not intentional, blaming, and the victim mindset. And we clearly see this with people with weak egos is they're manipulating, gaslighting you that they're the victim when actually they are the manipulator. And so we see that all the time in toxic, codependent relationships. So that's the absence of self-leadership. So what we have to do is to choose a new frame.